one life.
Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Bursack, coming to you from Ohio with our Rebounding for Life network. And we're joined, of course, with Cristiano Verducci from Italy with his Jump for Joy network. And we may also have a guest who's also a part of our Health Rebounding coach administrative team, which would be Wayne Hall, aka Bear. We call him Bear occasionally. But what we're doing today is we're going to have a question and answer discussion. We're going to be covering some different topics that are basic. It's important for us to express the education, the quality education that we want you to have in your experience. And we're growing as an industry, health rebounding industry, and making the distinction and separating ourselves from the cardio rebounding industry, which is what has been most obvious in the past years. But it's very important to us. We've been in the industry for many, many years, the three of us, and we've been colleagues, and we're passionate about the education and the quality of the education that is so missed and often missed in the cardio rebounding industry that we are today and now and in the future and in our videos defining and refining the very important points and aspects of what you're learning within the education that we bring to you. Rebounding for Life has been here for a very long time. Cristiano's network is Jump for Joy. Wayne Hall is the third of our coach administration, and he'll be popping in hopefully later. But he's also a part of Rebounding for Life. Now, the focus of Rebounding for Life specifically, and it's an ongoing conversation that we have, is the importance and the quality of the education, and also the introduction of the program specifically in Rebounding for Life is the 30-day program, 1 minute a day at 1 minute each day until you reach 30 minutes. Now, that covers a lot of territory in that 30 days. You may go through some changes, but the most important thing is that you learn the discipline and you learn the relationship that you have with your mat and what the mat offers you in terms of the benefits of vertical movement. You are coming off of a hard surface. You may have done, cardio, hard floor surface training, but you are stepping on and off of that hard surface onto soft mat training. That's a whole different thing. Your body's going to go through changes. The most important thing with this program, one of it in the beginning, is that it's preparing your body to become stronger. It's preparing your body to release what's no longer useful. It's preparing your body to understand the lymphatic system and what's happening. That's the lymphatic story within the manual. It's going to go through changes, but there's actually a cleansing. There's actually a detoxification that is occurring, but we're making sure that you do it in a very safe way. Now, you understand that the mat becomes the pump within your lymphatic system, because if you do not move in a certain way, it will move very slowly. So what's going to be happening in those 30 days, along with strengthening your center core, understand how your breath work is in rhythm with your mat, with your vertical movement, with your bounce, with your health bounce. Differences between health bounce and cardio bounce. are two different things. With the health bounce, you do not leave the mat in those beginning days. Cardio is a whole different creature. It's about cardio. I don't even want to go into in the 15 years that I have been an educator. I have to almost rehabilitate anybody that I've worked with because their perception of rebounding is cardio or it's been aggressive. And I have to back them up. I have to take them back to the womb. First 9 months of your life, you were bouncing around in the womb. Perfect lymphatic fitness within that womb. You come out, mom rocked you like a baby. That's that instinct is built in with you as a baby. Then you want to walk, and then you want to bounce on the couch, you want to jump on the bed. There's that movement already built into your body. Those instincts are still connected. Now, mom pretty soon, or somebody says, stop doing that. Eventually, it'll go into reverse. Now, as an adult, you come back in, and all you're trying to do is get reacquainted again with that perfect movement and relationship you had within the womb. That perfect vertical movement is so different than just horizontal movement. It's the vertical movement that initiates the function of the lymphatic system to keep your body clean and clear. Now, that is cellular fitness. That is lymphatic fitness. That is, and when you were in the womb, you were functioning within maximum cellular potential. And that is a very important phrase, because as you left that part of your life, and now as an adult, you're coming back in, we want to take you back to that maximum cellular potential. Now, when you learn in the manual, which is within our industry, in my network, in the network of RFL, Rebounding for Life, you'll understand how to prepare yourself. And that means creating a rebounding station. That means getting your calendar ready, your hydration, your water, your timer. Understand, how to mount your rebounder, how to dismount your rebounder, what to wear. And it's very important that now that we're more housebound, if you were in a fitness center, you would have to wear shoes when you mounted the mat. That would be part of hygiene. Now that you're home, we prefer to have you connected to the mat as closely as possible, which means no shoes, no socks. So now you are in touch, whole body with your mat. So you'll sometimes hear us talk about that, but now that we're homebound, we don't wear shoes, we don't wear socks. We want to be touching the mat with our body. You'll also be understanding the importance of posture, and the spine straight, heaven to earth, and the parallel position of your feet, and then you begin to move. Now, the important thing here is that you need to align the rhythm of your breath with your bounce. And that takes a little bit of practice in the beginning. It's a little bit awkward coming off of the hard surface. So there's some new things you have to experience, but it's very important for that breath work to be in alignment with the rhythm of your bounce. Now, in my network, I always have everybody say, shoo, because that means you're expelling as you're drawing that oxygen up through your lungs, pushing those lungs up, and you're expelling that breath as you return to the mat. So the rhythm and the breath is very important. Now, once that's in alignment, it's some of the neat things that are going to happen within the second and third week is your stability factor, and that means that your core center is realigning itself, is becoming stronger. In the second, third week, you're going to notice that you're not as tired when you dismount the mat as you did in the first days when you mounted. So that means that now you're getting oxygen directly to your cells upon exertion. And that is the most wonderful thing that is going to be happening in your life, whether you're in your teens, you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and maybe 100, who knows. That in-breath experience of realizing that you don't lose breath, you gain it. You don't lose energy, you gain it, and you get more. That's the relationship that's being built along the way. Now, I say within RFL that this should be first. No matter what your game is, this should be first. Because you might be a cyclist, you might be a jogger, you might be yoga. It doesn't matter what you're doing, climbing mountain, doesn't matter. But this should be first. This should be first. So now, when you do something else other than rebounding, you're going to have, I have a little formula where I say oxygen equals strength equals endurance. Now, Cristiano and I, we can rebound for hours. I mean, we can go for hours. Just the way it goes. I'm 68 years old. He's younger than I am. Bear's in the middle. But that's a testament to the wonderful benefit of what rebounding gives us that no other movement does. There's not a piece of equipment on this planet that gives us the benefits in the shortest amount of time and maintains that relationship as the rebounder does for us. I think as people, we have different parts of our network. Mine is longevity living, and we all have our own little thing in terms of recognizing how important in the later years of our lives, how important this information is. As someone who's, of the 68 level, I no longer say years, it's level 68. I teach, longevity living. The vitality and the agility is the same for us as it is somebody 40. So I have the same agility as Cristiano does. It's the same for all of us. And it's not going to stop if you keep doing it. And why wouldn't you keep doing it? Balance and stability with people in higher levels is always an issue. We have a lot of things that happen, from breakage and hips and things like that. Why would you? This is the most amazing thing that you can give yourself, to give you that center core stability so you don't go in another direction and something tragic happens. So, that's sort of the basic outline of how important and how excited we are about health rebounding. Again, we are drawing a distinction between the industries. Cardio is too much for someone who has been away from the womb for a very long time. And what happens is, you may hear on a video on YouTube that says, 5-10 minutes. That is not correct. That is not correct. Because in that first 5 minutes, you can experience what your body's going through initially, immediately, when you leave the hard surface and go to the soft mat surface. Because you will get dizzy, you will get nauseous, you will be in the bathroom puking. And you will not go back to the mat, you will desert. The mat gets deserted, it gets put in a garage sale, it gets sold, it never the return doesn't happen. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. Now, in my career, I have observed when I came out of the academy that I came out, first of all, having to simplify the language. No problem. Did that. Still doing that. We're still expounding on phrases that will give us clarity and understanding. But what happened was I realized that 80% of humanity was separated from this wonderful benefit, this wonderful industry. And their first initiation in the 80s with Dr. West. I'm going over things people have heard before, but some people have never heard this. In the beginning, in the 80s, with Dr. West and Al Carter, was the exposure of the athletic impression that it gives a lot of people. Not everybody is ready for cardio. They're not ready for it yet. And it can be dangerous. It can be exhausting. It can be intimidating. And it can also be what I call the point of disconnect. So I looked at all the places that different levels of activity, different people in their lives, where they're coming from, were disconnected from the information, from the education. That became very important to me. And the first place I saw it, of course, was when they were a child and they were told to no longer bounce on the bed after coming out of the womb. Okay, we got that. Then coming back into activity, someone searching for something to do to improve their life. Okay, but that first 5 minutes of going out and buying a rebounder, bringing it home, unpacking it, and going on YouTube and watching a video and then mounting that mat and having a bad experience is the second disconnect. And that's where it happens. I want that to not happen. And so the quality, the Q factor, the quality of buying the proper equipment, preparing yourself mentally, physically, mounting, dismounting, participating with your body, responding to the changes that it's going to experience. And we want to have some change. And we want to be able to breathe better. We want to be able to function better in our systems. We want to function much, much better on a cellular level. Every cell in our body is ignited the moment we step on that. It's fired up. Not just one, two, the whole body. And every system in our body is made up of cells in one way or another, whether it's muscle, whether it's vascular, whether it's protein, whether it's every cell in our body is awakened. And that's awesome. The second you step on, and then you begin to join your breath with your movement. And the outcome is awesome. It's stunning. I mean, it was just the most amazing thing in my life in my 40s, where I thought, I can be in breath. You can't make me run out of breath. And now I'm 68. You can't make me run out of breath. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the essence of longevity living. Now, Cristiano, again, you've heard this before, but we met along the way. And we've been colleagues for years. We've discussed things that are very important to us. We've formulated our networks. We've defined and refined the aspects and the dynamics within our industry that nobody in the world is doing it but us. We're the ones doing it. And we know that because we look around the world, we've watched what's happened with the cardio industry, and we've worked very hard to bring this health bounce rebounding industry to you with quality. That's the Q factor. It's the importance of purchasing the equipment that's going to benefit your experience and your body in the best way it possibly can. A lot of people think, oh, maybe I don't know if I want to can, if I want to do this, so they hesitate. They go out and buy a cheap rebounder and they bring it home, and then they start aching. They start hurting. They don't have the right education. They don't know about our program. They bang away, and it's just, that's got to stop. That's got to stop. It just has to stop. And we realize, Cristiano, myself, and our colleague Wayne, aka Bear, which we hope you see today. If not, if you go on our on the wall at RFL, you'll see where I brought us together as a coaching administrative team. That's very important to me because I think you should see us. You should see us. You should know who we are. You should know how we got here. You should know why it's so important for us to define these aspects and bring forward to you the quality that's most important when you're making decisions to bring this into your life. Because once it's in your life, it'll never leave. It will never leave you. So I know we're going through a shift, and I'm happy about that. I'm excited about that. We've been in kind of an accumulative period of our relationships together, of bringing together the information, the education, and the definition of what we want to say to you, and we all have our networks on Facebook, but I really thought it was important that you see who we are, you know who we are, you know how we got here, you know why we think the way we do. We have to deal with different questions. We may get some today. I hope we do. We try to get to you as quickly as possible, answer them most efficiently, and in the best way that we can. We can see sometimes a lot of people who come in from different points of view, different mindsets, different perceptions, different experiences, and we have to recenter you. We have to bring you back. We have to bring you back. We are not going to deviate. Keep that in mind. We're not here to adjust to everything that comes down the pipe. We don't do that. We know what we're teaching and what we're presenting to the world is very effective, very simple, not difficult. But we do not deviate. We may be making adjustments here and there, but it's for the importance of improving the quality always, enhancing that effectiveness that we can bring to you, so that your, again, experience is everything that it's meant to be. I know there are things that are important to Cristiano, and we listen to each other, we discuss it, we present it. Some, we have little shifts that we do. We have little additions and different things that we change here and there. But overall, again, there's no one in the world spending the time, the thought, the effort to define this industry. We are the first ones even speaking about defining the health rebounding industry in its own honor, its own right. And we've grown into this in our lives, and we're not going to deviate. We're not going to change. Now, we've talked in the last video about the COVID and how it's impacted our lives. And better than any time ever in your life, this information, this education, this experience is going to be the most beneficial, because, if you're not going to a fitness center any longer, you're going to be at home. So you're going to be a home health rebounder, which we've always been, you know. Now Cristiano goes to he teaches in centers, in fitness centers, and education centers in Europe and Italy, much more than I do. And so he's out and about, and they are much further along than we are. They are. It's not a part of the academic curriculum of the PTism in the health fitness industry here in the United States. No. And I'm sad for that, but there's other things we have to do. They'll have to catch up. But with, you know, the home experience, you're already there. You were there even before the COVID. You were there before you felt like you didn't belong in a fitness center. You didn't belong in that cardio group. You didn't belong in that accelerated movement that you hadn't achieved yet. So you turned around and walked out the door and never came back. And then you went home again. Now, see, there's 80% of humanity that I think has the right to have this experience. And it's been my baby for a long time. I can't reach everybody in the world. Wish I could. It should be in schools. There's so many things that can be done. If this were taught in schools, we wouldn't have half the issues we have in this country or in this world. It would already, that first point of disconnect would have never happened. It would have been a part of their childhood experience in their school, their academics. It would have just still continued on. They would have entered sports. Who knows what, you know, what athletes we would have today if that were a part of their life, all their life. So back to the home experience again. This is the time. This is the time. This is time to connect with the correct and the proper and the quality education. This is the time to buy the best piece of equipment you could possibly afford. And it's in your home. And it's available in my home. I'm in my living room right now. My Rebounder's right there. I know Chris is right, is right there. When you come, you know, it's right there. They're right here. When we get up in the morning, we come out, they're right there. And once you are lymphatically detoxed, you know, then maintenance is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. Do more if you want, but your body's strengthened, prepared, and ready for you to step on that mat, mount that mat, 5, 10 minutes, do more if you like. Bring music in. Chris is a DJ, and we have some other members that are just awesome with their tempos. And I'm just mention Troy Monroe because like so I said to him, he has a home here with us, and he has a wonderful way of has a wonderful relationship with that mat and music. So, but it's still within the health bounce tempo. That's one brought into us. I love that. But have fun with it then. You're ready then to do more. You're ready to do more movement in an athletic way because you're prepared. But you can't go from 0 to 60 without going through our and becoming accurate. So I don't know if we have any questions or not. Chris will have to tell me if you do or don't. We were hoping that we'd be able to get.
We don't have many viewers now at the moment.
Okay.
You know, so probably the hours.
It may be because it's work day, but we're gonna, you know, it's still gonna be on the wall. And then we're combining Facebook Live with Zoom. And so once it's posted on the wall, there can be questions if you weren't able to see us right here live. And then you can post them later. We all three of us as coach administrators go through the posts and we read them. We all read them. And whoever gets there first, because we have different timelines. Wayne, Bear, AK, and I are on the same timeline, and Cristiano is 6 hours ahead of us. So you'll see us in different places, and we want to be able to answer your questions in the best way that they can be. So, and I know that we read each other's answers to you, and then we but we know how we thank each other. Bear has been in the industry longer than Chris and I. I'm the newest, I don't know, 12 years, and how many years you've been in the industry, and then Bear, Wayne, Paul, came into the industry because he's not here to speak, but sometime I know we'll have him. He came in when Dr. West was with us on this earth and alive, and he he didn't know me, he didn't know Chris, and he went through that experience kind of by himself. And then when I met him, I learned what he knew, and then I went through the academy. I came out, and I wrote Endless Breath, Boundless Energy, and it's gone around 5 continents. And now it's back home in Rebounding for Life, RFL, and that's where it stays. And then I met Cristiano, and our friendship formed, and our discussion about what was important to us and our experiences. And Chris, he'll explain because he's here. I want him to explain because we talk about it. We know what changes he experienced when he came via Al Carter, and then learned of Dr. West, and he had a combined experience. I came Dr. West and then learned about Al Carter. But I want him to talk about that. I want you to talk about your experience, love, how you came into the industry, and the changes that you observed from the first time you entered.
First, I would like to thank you, Pam. So great speech, great listening to you, listening that really these words that is very have always accompanied me during my experience and my story here in Italy, Europe. And exactly, I started with the Book of West, as you probably know, but I not studied with Al Carter. I started with reading the book of Samuel West, Dr. West, in around probably before 2000. Yes, since 2000. So I started probably before 2000. I started to a friend of mine gave me that book of Dr. West, the Golden 7+1, as you know. And that book was really shock for me. And after that, because as you know, I came from the fitness industry, my career started after my degree in physical education into the fitness industry as a cardio and high-low aerobics instructor and teachers. So in a fitness club. So here in Italy, the fitness started around the 90s, I remember. So, and I started my career at my first classes and group classes of aerobics, high-low impact and step classes in the 90s. So I came from that industry, and I really developed all different kind of techniques, disciplines, and methods and tools, that came into this box that I call fitness industry during, probably more than 10 years, from 90s to 2000. And also I've been not only a teacher or personal trainer, but also a manager and a director, leaders, of course, in the industry, leading others, teachers and personal trainers. So that's why I can say that really when I never forget the book of West, also during when I met Al Carter later on when I started searching on internet about the subject, because as you know, West didn't give only that information without, but I would like to get into practice, having a quality rebounder since the first time, and thinking about the education and how's the science about that. So I'm started searching on internet around 2000, and I found Al Carter, and the website of Carter. Then so it's the second step for me into the rebound story. And of course, I immediately remember asking to send me all the materials, the original rebounder, and all the materials about, Carter sent me all the material, DVDs and reboundologist manual and everything. So I became first also a certified reboundologist from American Institute of Reboundology in probably 2004. And and the thing is that my life started to change because that period I also in the holistic um, industry, we can call now industry, but holistic way. That is, I opened an holistic center in my region, and I also learn different techniques and disciplines about natural medicine and personal development, of course, and personal growth. So I stopped my career in fitness and I get into this new holistic way. I remember also I'm attending a shiatsu massage. I'm a degree certified operator, and so I'm starting to know much more about. But I remember, of course, when I started to learn about the lymphatic system from West, the cellular exercises, or all the concept of cell, I absolutely shocked because came from the fitness industry and studied much, and also always study and trying to develop also the industry. But the way of thinking about the body as a community of cell is absolutely today is absolutely a revolution. Also even today, nobody in the fitness industry after 20 years I studied that these things. There is no personal trainer that see a person and a body thinking about there is a community of cells.
They only
see, yes, they only see a body, some
muscles,
muscles,
a body, one dimension,
the heart, and stop. The heart and some muscle and machine for a different machine to use for
the muscle. Yeah.
It's for the muscle and only for the heart. There is no other organs, nothing, of course, in the body. So this way, this culture is obsolete, totally obsolete from my point of view. And this is also the point why it's so difficult to explain, to shift into another, and also to accept rebounding, because it's a cellular movement. So it's crazy that they say how it's possible that only one tools, one movement can do all this for all the body and all the cells, and they don't want to accept that. I remember when I studied my of course, as you know, my leading here, my networks, and starting to sell the rebounder for the first time in Italy and Europe, a quality rebounder, because it's missing often, it's missed. And I started, of course, through my website to translate all these informations and put this as a blog. For the first time, remember, journalists magazines starting to call me for interview and for know this about. This is really a revolution. And I always say since the first time, this is not a news. This is not new. This is not. This is an innovation that is totally different. Innovation is something that probably require years to be accepted, to be understood. But this is not new. This is an innovation. That's why probably we have to spend years and years in all the sector to.
And I think that would be the third disconnect.
Yeah.
That would be the third disconnect. great disconnect. Because why would you, why would you want to forget about what you experienced in the womb that you were given? It was free. And then, you became separated from it. So now this is when you talk about an innovation, it's a returning to what you already knew. It's already in you. It's been there for all this time, but humans like to they like to imitate what they see, and then they have that separation. But now I say it's separation anxiety, because now they're having the side effects of being separated from what they already came into this world with, and they already have it inside of them. But now they're separated from it. They have to return to it. So it's a returning. It's a returning to what you already know. It does not have to be complicated. They want it to be complicated. It doesn't have to be. It's really, promise you, this simple. It is this simple, and it will remain this simple. We aren't imitating anyone. We aren't making it something that it's not. We're keeping it in its, it's wonderful. It's the essence of vitality and life, and we're keeping it right there. It's the same thing over and over. And sometimes
Absolutely.
I'll have a member say, well, I know I can do 10. I know I can do 20. Well, I know. Well, yes, we know you can do that. Like riding a bike, sure, you probably can. But discipline is very important. And starting at the beginning again is like returning back to the womb and coming back out again. And it's very important to bring that with you. So that, when I say get on there, mount your mat after you've done your preparation, 1 minute, get off. And I mean get off. And then day 2, 2 minutes, get off. Day 3, get off. 4, get off. 5, get off. You'll get there soon enough. You'll get to 15. You'll be able to spend more time with it. But please, please listen to me. I think one of the things that, I get, do I have to tell them this again? 1 minute and get off. That means get off. Because it's the importance of building that discipline, allowing your body to become stronger. These are not things that are taught in a fitness environment. These are not things coming out of the PT training when you go into a fitness center. Not there. You can't fix something in the middle. Everybody's coming in from a different angle, a different health level, a different age level, ability, agility level. They may come in with injuries already. I know we've had to talk, to some members about issues that they come to us with. And then they're feeling the acceleration of a health crisis. That can happen. If they're still coming in and they've had to learn the hard way this week, if you come in with that cardio mindset, I say, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, but that inflammatory response, you already have cells that are maybe injured. You already have cells that are already damaged within a muscle framework, wherever is in deficiency, insufficiency. If you come in with that cardio mindset, and daggone well, you've got some issues, and you come in and you pound that mat, it's going to accentuate whatever weaknesses you have in your body. And it's not the fault of the rebounder. The rebounder didn't do that to you. You did it to yourself because you listened to your ego or your perception of your memory of what you saw on YouTube, and you came in and you wanted to do. No, I say You stay under the threshold of that inflammatory response while your body is preparing itself and getting stronger so that you can participate with your body responding to change. It's not that difficult. It just means you have to pay attention and you have to listen to us. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you through those baby steps. And then when you get your body stronger, you're going to have a much faster healing response. If you take care of that, pay attention, connect with your instincts, listen to your body. It talks to you all the time. But if you override that and you want to prove something to someone, I don't know who that is, if it's yourself or someone else, you're going to be going back. You're going to have to start all over. And I mean, I'll take you back to day one. Now let's do it again. Let's go back to day one. 1 minute, get off. 2, get off. Because we have to reset the body again. We have to realize, release, reset, restore again. And that's the process. It doesn't change. I don't care if somebody's been rebounding for 20 years. It's a good idea to go back once or twice a year and do 1 minute a day, add 1 minute each day, because you may have eaten foods, you may have not, you weren't as mobile as you usually are, or you had some stress issues. Stress is a huge conversation that we will have. I'm looking at the time, how it's affecting our lives today, and how the rebounder is your friend. The rebounder is your friend, because all of those foods that you ate or holidays you spent or whatever, again, I don't care if you've been doing it, if you're a baby or you've been doing it for 20 years, you do the same thing. Start all over, reset your body, realize, release, reset, restore, and your body will respond, whether you've been doing it for 20 years or this is your first day. And that's very important for all of us, because we always have the opportunity to reset our bodies. And these days, I'm going to bring a little bit in of stress and the chemical response of alarm and anxiety that triggers is just mind-boggling today. And if you're not prepared with resources that are available, it's going to be much harder on your bodies than if you did. And then you did realize that there are resources that are available that will help us all get through this. Because the chemical relationship from those triggers will quickly transform you into a human shock absorber. And if you get used to that way of life, your body is going to suffer for it. You can guarantee it. Wherever your weaknesses are, they're going to accentuate. So you're going to do it. Which way are you going to do it? You're going to do it our way. You're going to do it your way. But we're offering you the opportunity to take very good care of your bodies, very good care of your mind and your mental state. Yeah, there's a lot of things we have to deal with in the world today, but it's your response that counts. And it's your trigger response that counts. It's your inflammatory response that counts. It's your eating habits that get accentuated because of anxiety. There's a lot of things that go along with having to live with ourselves in this world today. That modification is the key. There's things you can do. There's ways you can respond. There's ways that you can approach your better health. We want you to, live your best life, and bounce your way to your best life. That's what we want to do. That's the key. And we're trying to help you. Looking at the time, we're trying to help you get acquainted with that and get reacquainted with what you already have inside of you. It's been with you ever since you were born. You've been a rebounder all your life, from the womb on out. And it's your responsibility as to how you return to what you already know. That returning is very important. Very important. And it's easy. It's not hard. It's not hard. We're busy, you know. I'm being as a life coach and an energy psychology coach, an EFT coach, which is the way, you know, I learned rebounding after I learned my academics with the human mind. I've been studying human behavior probably all my life in one way or another. But this was new to me. And Wayne, aka Bear, is the one who introduced it to me. And I'm like, wow, what is this? What is this? And it was an awakening for me. And I embraced it 100%. I couldn't get enough. And I still, it's always with me. But the language we are developing in the industry that was not in the previous, you know, industry, the aerobic industry, didn't exist. And so I always have a lot of fun developing the language, the terminology, maximum cellular potential, in breath, you know, these coined phrases that are just very important.
Vertical movement.
Vertical movement, yes, the vertical movement. And, you know, these we're you know, we are reprogramming, you know, people. We must do it because they have so much junk that they've collected along the way, lymphatically, and you know, you know, in their journeys. We want to get them recentered. So yes, language is very important. I'm a writer. I'm an author, and I brought all of my attributes to the table and use them in the best way that I possibly could. And I'm still doing that. So that's always my pleasure. That's my joy to do that. Am I going to go out and save the world? No. Am I going to be the world savior? No. Like I say, I think in the other video, I said if I had $1 million and 20 years younger, I would have vertical move studios all across the country because we don't have that concept here. And that would be my preferred concept, whether it be corporately or publicly. That's all you would see are rebounders in the studio. You don't need anything else. There's not one other piece of equipment you need. And that would have been my joy to have done that. I've done that in my home studio. That's the way I've set it up. But yes, maybe, you know, next life I'll come back and do that. I don't know where it'll be in my next life, but yeah, it's what we're doing. And Cristiano is already doing that in Europe. It's already much further ahead of us than the United States. So, but I don't know, our time, you know, you'll have to help me with our time, Chris, where we are with that. And if there's something else you'd like to say, please do. And we'll close out this video today.
First, if I speak as you say, you know, probably there is a return there. I don't know if it's okay now. Okay, perfect. I don't want to say something more, just to remember, you know, all the point that you have explained in this very long speech. That's very beautiful. But just to close the first video, because we are around 1 hour now, I think that I want to summarize, you know, all the big points that you have just explained so good, so we can close. And of course, I take some notes about your speech and absolutely agree with you about the terminology, because if we have to start new informations, information. I start with information because when I start to study this subject, I need informations, So the informations means that there are words and there are terminology. And this is fundamental, absolutely is important. Otherwise, especially today, more than 20 years ago, when you go to Google, the Google that give you informations, you search and you type, you type words, you type terminology. So it's important if you type the right language and terminology to find the source of what you really want to know. Otherwise, you are totally going in different direction that you lose yourself and lose yourself in the internet. There is too much people doing much things and
too much information.
Too much information is not information.
It is not quality. No.
That's why we start, and I suggest to you to start to have this Q factor. Q came from quality informations, quality education, quality tools, quality way of doing and practicing this.
Breathing.
So we are. That's why the Q factor is what unify and be united, and we are united all in this very new concept of quality that is really requested and needed today for shift into a more quality life. Also to shift into more
life.
Yes. So Q factor is something that really is very simple, because I absolutely love the concept, as you also explained, that simplicity is the new innovation, we can say. Not because, but it's hard to understand that simplicity is really something real and not
easy,
and not superficial, as something can say, this is simple.
Nothing missing. I mean, there's nothing missing or broken in simplicity.
So simplicity is another big word that I love into the language of this concept. And also another one is less. Less is more, in a way that, for my point of view, my way is doing much better than do more, So as you know, also in the fitness industry, they are too much fit into this quantity. Do more, to have more, do more. This is not my way. I prefer to say do much better. So less is, if there is quality, you don't need to do more. If there is quality, that's why I love also your concept of 1 minute, 2 minutes, because if you do the rebound and the vibration on the mat and you are connected, that's why I would like to remember that the barefoot is another absolutely basic and foundation. Otherwise, if you use shoes, you don't understand nothing about the science. Then
let's call that the fourth disconnect. The shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Disconnect you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's another disconnect.
That is crazy. You are using tools to connect with the tools and work with your body.
That negative intervention is in your shoe is cutting you off.
It's a paradox.
That's the fourth.
Paradoxically. That's why when I see many trainers and rebound trainers that probably have many followers that about that are influencer and also write articles and explain they are absolutely a specialist and expert, but they are doing the rebounder with shoes. From my point of view, is totally crazy. It doesn't matter if you are Italian, American, or whatever you are, but you can say that you are an expert and a specialist of this discipline if you use shoes. There is no reason why to use shoes on a mat. Doesn't matter what kind of what quality of rebounder you use, doesn't matter what quality rebound you use. If you also the socks, as you know, from my point of view, is something that cannot permit you to connect with the mat. So think about the shoes. The shoes is totally crazy from my point of view.
Naked feet. We want naked feet.
Yes, look at the babies. The baby come up and they. I remember kids of 3 years old. That came. I'm in the show. I remember I was in a fair in the shows, and he came with the mother, and he started to, when they see the the rebounder starting to run, to come, and they say, I can do that, I can do that. Yes, yes, but please, put the shoes off. And I remember, I have to say to you, I don't know if I just tell you this, but I remember I was totally shocked. These kids of 3 years starting to bounce, 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 bounce on it without shoes, of course. And little by little, is starting to unwear everything of his
Take
body.
everything off.
Everything is starting to to lose the pants and everything
Take 'em
starting
off.
to burn. And in 5 minutes, they was, I remember, it was totally naked. And the mother said, whoa, 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 what I have to do? Why it's happened? Why it's happened? This like this.
They're
Yes,
doing what they remember. They were
and,
naked in the womb.
yes, and I say,
And
you start, and I say, I start to remember, not worry, not worry. Leave them.
let them
It's
do
starting
that.
to be free. It's starting to be free.
They're remembering. They're remembering where they came from.
Experience freedom. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is freedom. This is freedom. Also, be naked for them is it's starting to remember and starting to be free. It's absolutely something that shocked my mind.
But they remembered. You didn't forget. You didn't
So
forget.
absolutely, absolutely. So please, ladies and gentlemen, no shoes on the mat. Never, never, never. Since now you have the information, and we can explain all
and there's a reason
details.
why, and we've just explained that reason to you, so that you can be reconnected to your true, who you truly are internally.
But it is crazy that we explain, it's natural. We don't have to explain, but probably we need another video to explain.
We're always going to have to do it. It's never going to end. We're always going to have to do it.
And as you see, I make this picture that I sent to you for also the Rebounding for Life group that is without shoes, very close to focus on the feet. That is focused on the feet, not only the feet, and the feet was naked. It's barefoot.
Yeah, we had naked feet.
Yes, to show that this is the way. 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 Your feet have to be free to move, to experience the mat. As your hand. It's like your hands. It's like you wear glasses and you would like to be more sensible. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible.
No.
So also
There's
the
a
feet,
separation
please.
Occurring.
Also the feet, please. This is this is the basic and foundation that has always been with us on this science. But now so I remember also I introduced this also in the fitness industry, when I started to create a protocol for fitness applications, and this is something absolutely, and I started with the socks, because it's not acceptable for the fitness industry to move or doing physical activity without shoes. It's not acceptable. I remember 20 years. I'm talking about 20. Yes, I'm talking 20 years ago. Of course, now with the yoga, body mind practice, etc., Pilates, they're starting to understand that also they can do physical activity without shoes or barefoot. But I remember 20 years ago when I started to show the Rebounder on the stage and on the fair, a big fair, and there are all the disciplines and all the fitness industry, of course. And I remember they see me and say, why you don't use shoes on the mat? Why you don't shoes on the mat? This is a physical activity. You need shoes. And I said, no, you don't understand nothing. You can say to me to use shoes. You don't understand. This is a physical activity, but this is absolutely something that probably you need more time to understand. But absolutely, I never wear shoes also on stage with hundreds of people that is doing Rebounder in front of me. Never, and always say, please get off your shoes. Get off your shoe before to come on the mat. And this is something that today, of course, probably is more accepted also in the fitness industry. But I remember very good that it's not easy when I started to expanding and explaining this. But it's a great experience. So absolutely, this is a point that I really want to focus and to underline. So we say, of course, you have talked so good, and I'm a testimonial of what is the big difference between cardio and health. Absolutely. There is, I started my career in the cardio concepts and aerobics, and it was fun, it was enjoyable, everything what you said. But absolutely, this is something that little by little you forget and be neglected. So and it is not good, because this is the basic and foundation and that of the principle that you never forget, that you never forget. Also, if you go into the advanced way of doing rebound, it doesn't matter. This is the foundation, has always been with you. Self-remembering that you have to be simple, that you have to focus more on quality than quantity of your movement, on listening than thinking about doing movement, listening your body, and also right now, me, after 20 years, and I'm doing my 10 minutes in the morning, absolutely every day in the morning, it's my routine, but I stay 10 minutes as a sort of meditation on the rebounder. Very simple, very...
No, it's not distracted by...
Very the feeling to enter into this movement and vibration and feel it in your body, and reopening all your probably blocks and contraction, and release that. Also, as you know, from my point of view, we have to talk more about treatment than training, you know, because rebounding is also a therapeutic way. It's also, you know, we use it here in Italy in a rehabilitation application, in sports, in prevention, in therapeutic way. So that means this is another big topic, Pamela, to talk about treatment and training. That is another two big things. It's like cardio and health, you know. Training, okay. Most of the people all over the world knows that this is a training instrument, but they don't know that it's also a treatment instrument.
Yeah.
Treatment instrument. So this is another.
We have lots of stories. We'll have lots of stories for that, because
for the next view.
Great,
and absolutely, I agree with you about the vertical movement. And I also sent to you this my feet that is probably made thousands of hours of bouncing in the air, and you know that it is the equivalent of probably thousands of kilometers on the ground.
Everything doubles on the mat.
A double. So think about, so if I bounce for 20 years, probably every day, and if it's doing 30 minutes bounces, it's the equivalent of 1 hour of running. Think about how many kilometers I did, you know, in this last 20 years bouncing on the mat. So vertical movement instead of horizontal one.
Totally
if you transfer this on the ground, that means that probably I have run all over the world. Around the world. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that really I enjoy very much.
It's astounding. Just even that is astounding.
Exactly. And the last things, but not the least, that means that for my point of view, another big, as you know, I also study and also practice a lot different schools about breath work. So I absolutely, for me, the breath and the bounce is one. You can separate and say no. Also, the fitness industry here is not, they're thinking about the breath as something to combine with movement. But for my point of view, the breath is the primary movement, is the primary movement. Is the primary movement rebound. It is a physical, the breath is a primary movement and a primary physical education.
It's essential.
The primary means the priority. Primary means the priority, the most important and priority. So before walking, running, cycling, swimming, there is, and also rebounding or bouncing, there is...
Get to that point of
there is breathing. Breathing is a movement. The breath is a movement, because move your body is a movement, is a primary movement. You don't have to stay, you know, lay down on the bed, probably with some problems, to understand that. You have to understand now there is a movement. So also now, if you are locked in your house, and you say, well, what I can do, I can go out, I can walk, etc. There is the breath with you.
Still breathe.
So doing the breath as a primary
Yeah.
movement and physical movement, because it's a physical activity, primary one. And as you know, I put this as a primary and priority in my wellness and well-being department at the European School of Economics, a private business school. And students now know that that they have to first practice the breath.
Yeah.
Then all other sports or other activities,
Whatever.
but first the breath. Because this is to close, we can also talking about empowerment if we don't embody first this foundation. Otherwise, it's not possible to empower, because you miss
It's not going to go anywhere.
Yes, the foundation first. And the foundation is what we are just talking about.
Very important.
This 1 hour. Absolutely. A very, very important video. So thank you very much, Pam.
Yes, then we can bounce and breathe our way to our best health. I love that. And we're going to add breathe to that. Bounce and breathe to our best health.
Bounce and breathe. Just B and B. It's very
B
easy.
and B. Very good.
The B and B, and B also B means being. So really, thank you very much, Pam. This is probably, now we are starting to have some viewers, but there is no, there is one comment. So wait a moment, please.
Oh, let's wait. Well,
there is also one comment. I'm so happy you both did this Zoom. Okay, Maggie Baisley. Thank you very much, Maggie, that you appreciate and be happy for this Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first one, Pam, because we always talk privately, and this is the first one that we are probably having our conversation.
What our conversation would usually be. We're sharing it with you now,
but this is the first one.
Visible.
This is the first one, not the last one.
No, no, there's lots to say. Absolutely, and I never have a problem with talking. So.
I know. Absolutely no. I love more listening, as you know, and action, as you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we also need someone that is really love talking and explaining, as you are a master of public speaking. This way, public means to use the right words, the new language that is required now for, we can say, write the new chapter of this story. Now it's 40 years of rebound industry or lymphatic exercise, but now we have to rewrite the new chapter, because really, as you say, we are the only one right now that can leading this industry to the next level. Yes. There is health rebounding. That is not only the next level, but it's the primary level that is missing and is neglected and forget.
And we're on top of that, aren't we? We talk about it all the time. Yes, we're I don't think, it ever leaves us ever. We have no problem ever. I don't care where we start, where we end. We can pick up something and go around the block with it. We've talked about this industry, north, south, east, and west. And it's very easy for us to enjoy and enjoy the passion that we bring to you with all of the concepts that we're developing, and so that you can have your best experience, because that's what we want. That is exactly what we want.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we can say bye to all our listening, but as you know, this is just recording on the page, so they can they can see the video.
They can see it later if they weren't able to visit. Thank goodness for you, because you have all that tech. You're so tech savvy, and I'm grateful for that, because I don't think I'd be doing. I just don't do it well like you do it. You do it so well, and we're collaborating with our conceptual concepts and your technology.
You support me a lot. You inspire me a lot, Pam. So you are a source of inspiration and supporter. You really support, as you know, and some we have a connection with the pioneer and this instrument that now I'm trying to do by myself, because we need now a new instrument for the, for the next future. So we are working on it. So we have
And this is
all the
conceptual, it's conceptual development. I mean, it is like research and development, but this is conceptual development. And we're going through shifts, we're shifting.
This is
And
the philosophy that is needed and that is
it's in
required to
development.
create. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree. Philosophy and language and all this terminology
And that has come
is
from our conversations.
absolutely. I remember.
I mean, that's where it was born,
Yes,
within
the Q
our
factor and everything, and the people starting to. This is
Yeah.
very much innovative, very innovative, and that's why, Okay, probably where I have to close down. And
Okay,
thank you very much, Pam. Sorry,
thank
I have
you.
to close. So